Hello again, chaps and chapettes. How are we all doing? It is lovely to see you all again, as always. Today, guys, we have yet another example in the ever-growing list of examples that evil does indeed exist in England. Now, of course, you don't need me to sit here and clarify that for you. I bring you numerous examples daily on my channel that evil does indeed exist on this tiny little island. But there we go, that's what we've got to work with. Even only a few days ago, I brought you a video about a man who killed his own baby son and beat him to death simply because he thought he was gay. I mean, the height of barbarity, the height of sadism, covered up by a bullshit, meaningless excuse. And sadly, it seems to have happened again. This time, from a 16-year-old boy. Now, it wasn't just a crime this kid committed by killing this baby. It was his whole demeanour and his attitude during the police interview that really rubbed me up the wrong way. Let's have a look what he's been saying, shall we? Now, of course, this isn't the Daily Mail. This is where I get all my depressing stories from, guys. And it reads, a twisted teenager who killed his ex-girlfriend's baby boy by brutally shaking him to death told police that they were bored during an interview. So, boredom drove this lad to shake this poor baby to death until he was limp and unresponsive. Let me tell you guys, I have been bored in my life on many occasions, sometimes severely bored. I've not even killed a spider out of boredom, let alone a fucking baby. What an awful thing to say. I was bored, my lord, nothing more, nothing less. So carefree. The cockiness, the arrogance really winds me up. Carl Aylesbrook, who was 16 at the time, murdered 4-month-old baby Elijah Shemwell in January 2022, just weeks after meeting his mother, India Shemwell. Elijah died 3 days after he was found limp, pale and drowsy at his mother's messy flat in Belper, Derbyshire. Following his arrest, Aylesbrook spun a web of lies claiming he had messaged police to ask where they were when Elijah fell ill. Now, any detective worth his salt would have picked apart them lies instantly. Who on God's green earth, it doesn't matter who you are, what sort of state, what sort of mental state you're in, no one messages the police on Facebook when a baby is pale and unresponsive. The instant reaction is to ring 999 and ask for an ambulance. I mean, this guy must be thick as 2 short planks. But a detective called his bluff. Oh, yeah, there we go. But a detective called his bluff in the interview, saying that this is a lie. There is no message saying, where are you? We have interrogated your phone, and that is not confirmed on there. What do you have to say about this? Responding, Aylesbrook replied, fuck all. The detective then quizzed him about his initial claim that he was asleep and unaware Shemwell had gone to the shops before making a sudden U-turn. When asked about this drastic change in his story, Aylesbrook rests his head on the wall and tells police, I say, you're boring, man. Oh, I could throttle him, guys, I swear to God, I could throttle him. I cannot stand insolent teenagers such as this, who think they know better than everybody else, so up their own arse, so cocky, they just need a crack at the side of the head, a good hard smack on the arse by the parents. That's what they're missing, I'm telling you. Aylesbrook from Matlock in Derbyshire denied causing any harm to Elijah, but was unanimously convicted of both murder and causing grievous bodily harm with intent by a jury at Derby Crown Court on July 11th. An autopsy found Aylesbrook shook his then-partner's son so violently he suffered catastrophic brain injuries and broken bones. I mean, what has to go through your head to do this to a baby? I mean, Christ on a bike, one of the most fragile things on this earth, and you're there shaking hell out of it. I mean, I cannot comprehend it, guys. I seriously can't. Something has to break in your head to do shit like that. Murder babies, kill puppies, things like that. You have to be a real head case to lower yourself to do something like that. Elijah's mother, Shemwell, who is now 23, was sentenced to 3 years behind bars after admitting 2 counts of child cruelty. This included the fact that she did not dial emergency services more quickly after Elijah became unwell. Aylesbrook admitted to leaving the baby unresponsive and taking drugs before he was meant to look after the tiny tot. Right, that's enough of this. I can't be doing any more of that. That's enough. Right, let's try and pick this up. Let's try and pick through this as best we can, guys, here. Right, so first and foremost, I just want to stipulate, obviously, that having a baby, a young child in your life, is extremely stressful and hard work, and it can become very frustrating at times. When me and my missus had our firstborn, we made a pact together. We promised we'd do it together as a team, bringing up our firstborn, our lad. And we always said that if one of us found ourselves getting stressed, angry, frustrated through lack of sleep, etc., and dealing with screaming all the way through the night, the other person would take over while the other person left the room, possibly stepped outside, breath of fresh air, calm down, reset, give your head a shake, and then go back in and work at it as a team. I'd still say even single mothers can even do this. You don't even need a partner. If you're a single parent and your baby is giving you aggro through the night, make sure he's safe and secure in his cot. There's no choking hazards or anything like that. And just leave the room for 2 or 3 minutes. Your baby will be fine for a short amount of time like that. Breathe, reset, relax. Don't get angry. I know it's easier said than done, but it can be done. You have to learn to reset and you have to learn to calm down. What you cannot do is go back in there and take it out on your baby by hitting them, beating them, or shaking them. It is unforgivable. You have to remember that a baby cries for a reason. They don't do it to be arseholes. They don't do it to piss you off. There's something wrong with him or her. They might have got stomachache. They might have the runs. They might need the nappy changing. They might need feeding. They might need winding. There's a whole host of things that could possibly be wrong with your baby. It's all about the process of elimination. You have to eliminate each possibility until you crack the case. There is one thing that will stop your baby from crying. Always. Overtired, like I say, need feeding, winding. You just have to find that cause. And once you've got that cracked, you've got it cracked for good that time. But you have to remain calm. I'm not putting an excuse on this. This is abhorrent. Anyone who abuses a baby should be sent to the gallows, obviously. But I'm just saying, a lot of it is done through anger, frustration, and lack of sleep. But you have to learn to deal with it. That's what having a baby is all about. And secondly, guys, another thing I don't understand. When we had our first baby, we hardly saw sight and the sound of a health visitor. I think we had 2 visits all the time he was a baby. And she was useless anyway. She would give us terrible advice. Our lad, when he was a baby, was terrible at sleeping. We didn't sleep. He didn't sleep. And we asked for some advice from the health visitor on the second time she visited us. Never saw her again. And she advised us to put his thumb in his mouth. Never in the month of Sundays will I be raising a kid that sucks their thumb. That's just personal preference. I'm just saying. But what has happened to health visitors? I can remember my nana always saying when my mum was born, she had a health visitor for 8 months. 8 months after my mum was born. That doesn't happen anymore. That should be reinstated quickly, particularly with young couples and young single parents. Because let me tell you, a 16, 18, 21-year-old having a baby is a massive jolt to the system. Your young life is gone. It is decimated. No more going out partying, no more going out and getting your hair done and your nails done. All your time, energy and money has to go on your child, and that is a massive shock to someone who is used to having a free life. They need a health visitor, they need guidance, particularly, like I say, if they are young single mothers or young single fathers. They have to deal with possible postnatal depression. A health visitor can help you with that. They can give you tips on how to stop it from crying and get to sleep more easily. I don't understand why this isn't a thing anymore. What has happened to health visitors in the modern day? It wouldn't stop incidents such as this, but it would certainly minimise it, even just a little bit. It's something, don't you think? Anyway, guys, that's enough wibble from me. Horrible story, dreadful story. I hate covering these, it's so depressing. I really must start doing a bit more cheery things on my channel because, yeah, well, mind you, no one watches my cheery, nice videos. You only seem interested in the depressing things, so I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place on that one, really, aren't I? But yeah, anyway, guys, please do let me know what you think of this arsehole. I mean, the way he acted in that police interview, if I was one of them inspectors, I couldn't have held myself back. I would have gripped him and I would have throttled him, basically. End of story. I don't care if I lost my job. I couldn't have controlled my hands. Simple as that. But yeah, thanks a lot for watching as always, guys. I really do appreciate it. Let me know what you think in comments. And I'll see you when I see you. Cheers.